Phison's 2021 fourth quarter earnings call. This is Jack Chen from Citi Semiconductor team, serving as host today. Today, we feel honored to invite Phison CEO Jian Chen Pan to join the meeting. For today's agenda, we'll first begin with the fourth quarter 2021 result update and business outlook, and then enter Q&A session. As a reminder, this meeting will end in 4:30. Right now, I would like to turn the call to CEO Pan. Mr. Pan, please go ahead.
Thanks to Jack Chen from Citi. Next, we have Phison's our 2021 the 4 quarters our financial report update. I think we all agree 5G is going to trigger more NAND application, and we can see a lot of new storage keep asking for higher capacity. So this is, I believe Phison, we are in a very good position because we almost cover every kind of application, provide the controller, IP, the full system, and the full turnkey. And so many years, a lot of investors keep saying Phison is a consumer-related company. But I like to use this chart, Phison 21 years history to explain to you. At least at this moment, Phison, we are far away. We are skipped away from the consumer business. The first 10 years, Phison, we developed the first USB SoC for we name it a pen drive. This is a totally new market, and Phison, we are one of the key players. So from nothing to $1 billion, we make it within 10 years. Flash start migrate to the embedded system triggered by Apple by 2007. Phison, we tried to get this business, but unfortunately, we are not able to make it because we don't have a good relationship. We don't have any good channel to talk to those key players. So in 2010 and 2015, in these 6 years, we are stuck in the consumer business. So during that time, if saying Phison is a consumer-related company, we agree. But during that period, Phison, we start to have a heavy investment into the R&D activity. We built a lot of fundamental IP and a lot of system integration. By 2018, the opportunity we work with the AMD, we are successfully to bring up the PCI Gen 4 SSD within 9 months, which is launching by 2019 July 7th. With that products launching, we successfully attract a lot of tier 1 system maker recognize Phison are capable in this high-end controller system development. We achieve a lot of new program from either semiconductor company, NAND manufacturers, system builder, asking Phison to cooperate, develop the new products to them. So you can see Phison will have big growth after 2019. The reason is everything coming from heavy R&D investment. So Phison today, we are cover most likely every application, the segment, which need a lot of NAND flash storage. So this is a breakdown about our last year 4 quarters revenue. You can see our controller the portion by dollar amount, by percentage is we all-time high. We grow a lot in control business just because of we gain many controller projects from the semicon. I still believe by 2022, Phison will still able to grow rapidly in the controller business with dollar amount, and also the percentage, I believe we're able to increase. And you can see the consumer business is down to almost 20%. This is fully follow our expectations. And the one is so-called embedded ODM. We start to enable this business from the 2021. Now growth rapidly, and I believe this will be our major cash cow, and also generate a lot of relationship with the system makers. And these embedded ODM modules, which cover the mobile phone, PC, server, automotive. And we believe Phison, with our consistent heavy R&D investment, we're able to gain more business. And I wish the shareholder, the fund manager, investor, you can recognize Phison, we are not as a consumer-related company anymore. We are the so-called technology company. So the revenue by fourth quarter last year is 16.8 B, we announced already, and the gross profit is 4.7 B. Okay, and the gross profit we grow for 61% YOY, and the record high in the same period in the CQ4. And last whole year, Phison actually the whole we hit the revenue in the all-time high, which is 62.5 B. And some highlight here, controller is a record high with the dollar amount and also the portion, 25%. And the PCIe controller, every quarter we keep rapidly growing because of we are pioneer, and also we gain a few more semicon projects. And we also design with a lot of our modules into customization and the embedded ODM to the system makers. So we expect by this year, controller is going to grow in our revenue. The PCI controller, we also able to gain market share. By modules, I need to highlight about the so-called BGA SSD. This was triggered by Intel many years ago, but looks like the market didn't take it. Last year, we make it this into the smartphone, Chromebook, automotive, and some industrial motherboard. And also, we put this to the mass. If you read the news that NASA have one the investigator in their mass, which is using Phison BG SSD. Next year, Phison will also work with our system partners. We are going to ramp up a lot on the BG SSD into the computing business. So we are expecting 2023, this will become one of our major business. And embedded ODM is really almost a 2x growth versus YOY. And by 2022, this will become our biggest business. So the overall revenue is 62.5 B. And the gross margin, CQ4 is 28.4%. And shareholder may ask, what happened? Remember last year Q3 analyst saying, oh, the memory business going to the winter, demand is this, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, we not agree. And last year CQ4, Phison, we are strategically to increase our inventory. The reason is we got so many design win and forecasts from the embedded ODM customers, which we need to start to ship by CQ1, CQ2 next year. And personally, I believe every time go to the CQ2, NAND manufacturer, they will prioritize their NAND supply to the main system makers, such as phone makers, PC makers, server makers. And at that time, Phison will be in the lower priority to gain their NAND supply. So when market going slow down, that is our best timing to increase our inventory. So we make it happen. But follow the so-called financial rule, they have so-called LCM, definition LCM is here. We have to write off some inventory. Actually, this is not lost, okay? This is just move to the prepare for next. But you can see by CQ1 next year, actually the market price is bounced back. So those write-off already is moving back to our finance report by this CQ1. So I don't much worry about this. And in the future, Phison is going to grow more business, and definitely we are going to increase inventory, especially in the slow season. And this kind of story may happen again. But I think this is our strategy to build inventory, then to grow ourselves. So I don't have any concern on this, and I wish you also agree to my point. The earning per share is EPS is 9.19, and also this is our all-time high in CQ4. Okay, so versus I believe this is one of our good performance compared with last year. You can see last year we have the disposal of our Hefei entity. We gain extra 12 EPS, but this year this is everything coming from our business. So income statement, you may more concern in the our EPS, but I need to highlight again. Look to our operating expense. Even though the gross margin is gross profit coming down, but we still insist to increase R&D expense. Especially last year, Phison, we increased more than 700 new headcount in engineering. So our cost actually is increasing. Okay, but I think this is a trend Phison have to keep investing into the R&D. So, and the total ROE, I think you may care about more in the ROE. So overall, Phison, I believe by CQ4 we are doing good. And earning per share, I think we also happy. The whole year is a 41 EPS. And balance sheet, in this you may concern about the inventory. By CQ4 2020 is a 10B by inventory, but since last CQ3 we are strategy to increase our inventory because we gain so many design win program. So by end of last year is close to 20B in the inventory, but by February we go to almost 22B. The reason is after Yokkaichi contamination, we already been warning by our customers that we have to make sure we're able to fulfill their requirement by CQ2 and CQ3. So we have to try to build up more inventory to fulfill their inquiry. Okay, so the overall Phison ROE is still we keep over 20%. I think overall we made a good performance to our shareholders. And we also like to announce our February revenue. To be honest, this 5.3B revenue is totally out from my expectation and big surprise. February, the working day is only like 60% of January because of Chinese Lunar New Year. But we almost YOY growth 45%. The MOM, we only declined single digit. So just 2 months, we hit the 10B. Phison's all-time high revenue is close to 17B, but in this CQ1 slow season, we already make it. Okay, so you may ask, is that because of Yokkaichi contamination deflate to revenue? The answer is no, it's negative. Actually, by January, February, Phison, we got a lot of demand in the embedded ODM and also controllers. This revenue, to be honest, February is out of my expectation, but overall it's really healthy. And I believe Yokkaichi contamination will impact to the price in the market will happen only in May. Later I will explain to you. Storage newsletter website, they are award Phison again 2022, the best in the SSD controller. So we are in 2 years to get this award. And I still believe by 2023, Phison, with our heavy R&D investment, we will get the award again. And Phison, we hit very good products in the special PCIe Gen 4 high performance. Our customer, they also get the award by the best products by hardware and the PC gamer. So we are happy to see this happen. By the way, by CQ4, some business highlight here. In the retail business, talking about the Gen 4 SSD, you take out the name manufacturer brand, almost 85-90% are coming from Phison. Means Phison, we gain the 85-90% share in the retail, exclude the name manufacturers. So this is a way we are good and we are feel happy about this performance. And talking about the OEM, we gain the 3 NAND makers to adopt Phison EMC and UFS controller, and we start to ship by this CQ1. EMC is growing rapidly and UFS also growing very rapidly, but unfortunately the supply from our foundry is still far than enough. So we still trying to convince our supplier to give more wafer allocation to Phison. And this award is by the Oppo China. This is first time we got the award from the mobile phone manufacturers. They special appreciate to Phison in the last 4 years. We support them a lot in the NAND storage development, supply, and the kind of cooperation. So With the award from the phone makers, we're able to have a more visibility, better position, and we believe we are able to gain more market share from this industry. And we can see the more and more the middle low-end phones start to adopt the UFS, and Phison, we invite by Qualcomm and MediaTek to be their AVR partner. So we are now supporting these two chip makers with our UFS to their phone customers. And in Chromebook, Phison, we get a very big market share, and we keep adopting and also design the BGA SSD into the Chromebook. And we can see the big growth by 2023. We have a big program to work with the system makers and the CPU makers. In gaming-wise, unfortunately, because of material shortage, the game console not able to increase supply in the market. But we can see, even though unit not growing, but the capacity itself, now the majority is going to the 2 terabyte, which also helping us a lot in the ASP. In the server application, Phison will also award by the gaming server. We supply the 2 terabyte SSD for their gaming server. Mainly is a cloud gaming. So this is also a good achievement. And Phison by next month, we are going to have organized a technology day. We are going to announce our enterprise SSD storage strategy with our partners. So at that time, we are going to tell you what is our policy, what is our strategy, and what is our marketing position. Industrial is slowly moving. We are one of the key players. We keep developing a lot of customization products into the industrial application. Recently, they have a new gaming handheld gaming machine, which Phison is a key supplier. And enterprise, by April, we are going to announce more to share more our strategy to you. PCI Gen 5, Phison we get award by this CES. It's the best SSD controller in Gen 5. And it's going to MP by this CQ3. And we're also working with the semicon, with a few semicon and also few game console makers. Okay, about semiconductor industry outlook. Your Gaiji contamination, later I will have a chart to explain more to you. And the Ukraine and the Russian war impact to Phison is very minor. Phison only like 21.5% of the revenue coming from that area. So we are basically okay. The most urgent and important to us is about the fab capacity supply. Especially we are getting more inquiry in the 28 and 12 nanometer. At this moment, we're still not able to get 100% supply from the customers. But on the other hand, our demand is keep increasing. So this is a happy trouble. Okay. I need to highlight here, you can see our R&D headcount. We increased almost 700 headcount in 1 year. And I can see by end of 2022, we are going to hit 3,000 R&Ds in worldwide. Okay, so we still invest, you can see, rapidly heavy in the R&D investment. So last year, we hit almost $300 million in R&D expense. So this is helping Phison to gain the more trust, confidence from our semiconductor partners. We keep heavy investing, they award us more controller projects. So this chart is very important. Phison, we are covered almost every storage application systems, which I can name as a gaming, is a big market, embedded ODM, big business, enterprise, automotive, industrial. And Phison is a very unique company. We cover everything from in-house IP, controllers, system integration, software development, and the full turnkey products. And Phison is the only unique company in the world. We are able to doing everything in-house and cover every kind of inquiry from the storage demand. We are the only one. So I believe if you agree, then you can value the Phison potential. Okay, so this is a brief update about CQ4. Then we also collect some questions. Let me finish this question, then we can go to online. Our cash dividend, this morning we have a board members meeting. We approved the other 13 NT. So first half January, we already have a 10 NT dividend to shareholders. So all is a 23, same as last year. Okay, so I think audience, a lot of experts. So I just use a simple chart to answer you about the Yokkaichi contamination and what happened. As a normal operation, when the wafer is in day one, wafer process may go 2 to 3 months. After they go into testing, packaging, then go into system EMS, doing SMT to the phone, to the server, to the SSD. With what we get from the public, again, we are getting public information. Based on public information, we made the simulation here. Looks like contamination happened by middle of January. And yesterday we got the announcement from Kioxia. They are start to full recovery production by yesterday. Means they may lose 5 to 6 weeks production capacity. So this production capacity, the wafer output will happen by April to May. Then going to the packaging and the SMT. Actually, the market, the big gap shortage happened by end of May to June, which this season is a EMS, most busy season to get material, doing SMT, assembly, and the ship to the market. So the real shortage to the factory, to the assembly house will happen by June. And unfortunately, this is the biggest season who are asking more NAND supply. So we have to try to get our inventory to fulfill at this period. When the customer looking for more support, we're able to make the fulfillment. And shareholder asking, investor asking, hey, is there Phison lucky? Last year build inventory, then Xi'an shut down, took down, then Yokkaichi contamination. I don't know what's the next. I hopefully not happen anymore. But last year, Phison increased the build-up inventory is our strategy. The reason is, you look to January, February, Phison revenue, big growth. Last year, we already know we got so many design win business. But when the market going to the hot season, we are not able to get full enough supply in NAND. So what we can build inventory is, when EMS, they are going to slow down, Semicon asking our help, that is the best timing Phison to build inventory. So by end CQ4, early CQ1 is the season that Phison to build our inventory. Then we consume by CQ2 and CQ3. So this is not lucky. This just because Phison we get a lot of design win program. We need to back up the inventory to support fulfillment to the customers. And a lot of shareholders, investors are concerned about our gross margin. So as I mentioned in the first page, by 2010 to 15, we are suffer. We are in the consumer business. So you can see the gross margin a little bit, what I can say, ugly because it's a consumer business. But we are slowly migrate to the embedded after 2016. 2019, with the AMD opportunity, we built the drive controller system within 9 months. We get a lot of recognition from the tier 1 partners. They start to award Phison many projects. So you can see our gross margin is improved very rapidly. So we give the kind of a guidance to our shareholders. We hope our average of gross margin 27% plus minus 3, which we raise 2%. I believe with our heavy R&D investing in, and also the more project award from the Semicon, and we are going to build more high value products, we can gradually improve our gross margin. But on the other hand, we also wish in our supply chain, our suppliers, our customers also able to enjoy the profit together. My goal, Phison's goal, at this moment, we are going to increase, to focus into our revenue growth. The reason is, This market is so big and going so fast, and Phison looks like we have a really good opportunity to cover every segment. So we need to increase our revenue. At the end, we're able to increase in our net profit. So gross profit, gross margin rate itself, I believe gradually we are able to improve, but most likely I rather prefer to increase revenue and the net profit. This chart is very interesting, okay? This period I keep talking to the investor. In our business, they have a unit business and also capacity business. Unit means every phone, every PC, they need the one storage, means the one controllers. But look to the smartphone. Worldwide consumption is 1.3, 1.4B. This is not going to 2B. Not impossible going to 2B. PC, 400 millions, not going to 500 millions. Means controller itself, the growth in the unit is very, very minor. Phison controller business growing a lot just because we take market share. Not means the industrial increase the demand, okay? But fortunately, Phison will not only cover unit business, but we also cover capacity business. You can see the capacity is going up rapidly. Many years ago, Phison, we are in the USB business, is a 2 GB, 4 GB, 16 GB. But now we go to the PC client business, is a 1 TB. Gaming console is a 4 TB. Enterprise is a S16 TB. So we also get the capacity business, which improve our ASP. And at the end, improve our net profit. So again, if Phison only in the unit business, what I can tell you, the momentum to growth is very, very minor. But with the capacity business, I think in coming few years, we can grow. 2021, I think we YOY growth is at 29%. By January, February, we grow close to the 30+%. So this means Phison, we are on the right strategy and the best approach in this NAND industry. Okay, the Ukrainian-Russia war is last year is less than 0.5%, so I think we are okay. Investor may also concern about the so-called ESG. DJSI by 2020, 41 point, we grow to 63. MSCI from CCC upgrade to BB. By OTC, 2019, we moved to the first ranking. Okay, so we are keep improving our ESG. Okay, so this is my report and my questions, so we can go online.
Thank you, Mr. Pan. Right now, we are entering the Q&A session. If you have any question, please press the raise hand button on the menu bar below. Our first question comes from Donnie Dunn from Nomura. Donnie, please go ahead.
Hi, Cass. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentation. So just two quick questions. The first one is, it looks like NAND supply is not an issue this year. So just curious, how do you look at the demand side by different applications like server, PC, smartphone, gaming, etc.? Especially that I think you have increasing your sales contribution from gaming quite significant in the past few years. However, you know that the market have concern on demand sustainability after the COVID normalized. So wondering if you could give us some outlook from NAND demand perspective. And second question is related to the first one. So considering the demand uncertainties, how should we look at Phison's inventory procurement or depleting strategy maybe into the second half? Thank you.
Okay, I think this year is not a good year anyway. Xi'an, Samsung took down for 2-3 weeks. Then looks like Yokkaichi lost 5 to 6 weeks production. So overall, the supply gap already happened. So everybody clear about the And I don't believe this gap able to fulfill because equipment is all done. I mean, even though with the full speed production, the loss is a loss, okay? But talking about the demand side, I agree that smartphone, PC by unit, I don't see able to grow. Maybe potentially may go down. I mean, may decline. But on the other hand, last year the PC bundle SSD is mainly 256 gigabyte. This year already moved to the 512 gigabyte. And smartphone low end was a 3264, now start moving to 64 128. So even though the unit itself is not improving, but the capacity is increasing. So this is also fully follow our strategy, not just only gain in the unit, but also gain in the capacity. And on the other hand, when you look to a Phison controller portion, actually by dollar amount, we are increasing every quarter. Thanks to the settle down between Micron UMC, Phison able to get more wafer supply by this year. This is helping us a lot in our controllers. And also Phison made a lot of design win with our semicon partners to the PCIe Gen 4 SSD controller business. This is also helping us. So by unit we grow, not because the industry growth, just because we get market share. And in the capacity side, we gain this business because when market slow down, we build inventory. And market when go to turn to strong, we have an inventory to back up. This is helping us to gain our ASP and also gain our net profit. And talking about inventory, since CQ4 last year, we are start to build up our inventory. This is our strategy. And my most concern, my most worry is actually the gap will only happen by end of May and June, July. Follow this chart. Okay, this is the most busy season for the EMS, but the component supply at this period may be in the big tight. So Phison have to make sure we are able to have a good inventory to fulfill our customers' need at the period. So at this moment, any good offer from the semicon in NAND flash, we are going to buy it. And we also asking the more visibility from our customers. Then we able to build not only NAND flash for them, but also controllers and also the PMIC IC. So far, PMIC IC is still very tight, but Phison, we are good because we are using our in-house design and we have a capacity support from UMC. So inventory-wise, our strategy is keep build up inventory to support our customers' gap in the June, July timeframe.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Our next question comes from Brian from Credit Suisse. Brian, please go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the presentation and very good results. My question was on the Q4. You mentioned there was a write-off which affected your gross margin. Could you just let us know how much would the gross margin have been if you did not do the write-off? And the second question is, it does seem with NAND tightness, the pricing of NAND might trend upwards going into this year. Is that your sentiment you're getting, and should we see a similar trend this year in terms of gross margin where it tends to trend up alongside the NAND prices?
I don't have a number, how many percent write-off in the CQ4, but I believe it's between 1 to 2%. Okay, and we can see the supplier increase the price by February. The price increase between 15 to 20%. So definitely we are going to move back those write-off into our finance pool. So means CQ1 we gain back. Okay, this write-off. So will reflect on our CQ1 financial report. Means margin will be turned to good in the CQ1. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And should we expect a similar trend this year for margins alongside NAND pricing, as showed in the chart, that if NAND pricing continues to increase, we'll see a good margin in volumes as well?
If no more accident, no more earthquake, no more this, no more war, no more this, I believe 2022, the shape will kind of similar like 2021.
Got it. And maybe could you just share a bit of what happened happening on the wafer supply side and on pricing? What are you seeing right now, and are we getting sufficient supply for this year, or is there going to be continued tightness? And what's your fulfillment rate at this point?
Controller itself, we are tight, 100% tight. Okay, we fulfillment only like 60-65%. Last CQ3, we thought this year we can fulfill 100%, but unfortunately our customer increased their demand. So controller is a 60-65. We hope we're able to get more supply. But talking about NAND flash, right now we are using every NAND manufacturer's NAND. In this world, there are 7 manufacturers, okay? We buy NAND flash from these 7 manufacturers. But Yokkaichi side, in CQ2, we are going to suffer some gap because they are not able to fulfill what we need. So now engineers need to immediately taking other flash to our customers to make the approval to fulfill the shipment by CQ2. So we may have a few weeks not able to fulfill the customers' demand by May because Yokkaichi not able to fulfill what we need. But after June, we able to recover back because we're able to take the flash from Korea, from Singapore, from China to fulfill that kind of a gap. So strategy is very simple, okay? We enable every flash. We enable every kind of application. And we try to gain every kind of a business to make sure we grow in revenue, we grow in the net profit. Yeah. But on the other hand, talking about the gross margin, I think you may agree Phison able to get more wafer supply from foundry, which control business is a much higher gross margin, okay? Which is between 50 plus minus gross margin. So that also helping us to improve our 2022 gross margin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, our next question comes from Simon Wu. Simon, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hua. Very quickly, looking at the February monthly revenue, very strong, 35% up year-on-year. Any rough idea how you achieved such a strong year-on-year growth? 45% growth year-on-year. So, half is more price increase or almost based on the price increase driven. Thank you.
No, actually, if you may agree, since last CQ3 analyst saying the memory going to the winter, and February, actually the price is not deflate immediately after Yokkaichi news disclosed. We believe the price will slightly deflate by April and May, not now. So this YOY growth, just because last year actually we announced, we are gaining a lot of design win in the systems, which we name is embedded ODM, which cover PC computing, mobile, a lot of communication equipment, which we made a lot of design win. So the price, if talking about the Yokkaichi contamination, still not any influence to my February business. That will start to deflate by April. So this is everything coming from our design win project. And we already know we're able to get a good CQ1 this year, but little bit surprised to me because February working days is less, only like 60% of January. But anyway, this is good sign. So we believe when time going to the April, May, and June, when market start feel they have a gap in supply, then the price up may also helping us to gain our revenue and the profit.
That means maybe a second quarter sequential revenue profit improvement will be quite strong then.
I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. And then, sorry for the little bit confusion is overall, last night, Western Digital confirmed the normalized fab operation. That means about only the 1 month long disruption. So any rough idea, sir, or what's the overall the global impact? The Western Digital Kioxia together is around maybe what percentage of impact? 3%, 5% for the entire year? Any rough idea? They mentioned about initially 6.5 EB, but they raised a little bit to 7. So the overall global impact, including the Kioxia, maybe around 14, 15 zettabytes, but any rough idea the global impact based on their public announcement?
Again, I'm not analyst, right? I'm just running the business, just making money for company, okay? So I use this chart simply to answer you. Actually, I don't care about impact whole year. We care about the gap is happening by this period. I think you agree, right? The supply, the gap in supply will happen by the end of May and June, maybe early July. The gap will be here. So if they have a whatever 15 exabyte or 18 or 20, I don't know, the supply gap in this period, the market may go to crazy. Yeah. So I don't care about whole year. I don't care about this month.
Yeah. However, you have an inventory, and you have sourcing from the U.S. chip maker, Korean chip maker. So if the June, July industry shows meaningful shortage, maybe Phison can easily sell your inventory, and also you can redistribute the NAND product based on the Korean or U.S. NAND chip. There's no issue there for you.
I think the answer is yes, but the probably answer is no. When this period, the market is a real big gap there, right? We believe a lot of system makers may come to us to call help. So I believe even though I have today's inventory, still may not enough at that period. So I'm still accumulating my inventory at this moment.
Yeah. Okay, very clear, sir. And then lastly, sorry, I missed your slide. Could you recap your revenue mix for maybe 2021 or fourth quarter? So I missed overall.
Yes.
Oh, so this is seems to be pretty much in line with the recent trend. So any particular change in the mix? Controller always low to mid 20%. So industry a little bit up. So any particular thing? Sorry for maybe I missed your.
Yeah, basically. Actually, controller was around 20% in the last few years, but now we migrate to the 25, and potentially I believe by CQ1 we may able to go to 27, 28%. Two reasons: we get the more wafer supply. Second, we get the more project from the semicon by 2020 and 2021 start to ramping up. Yeah.
But you don't worry about the UMC's full utilization ratio, and also they may raise the price again, your foundry sourcing cost, so that may hit your margin or limited growth.
Okay, now the market have two voices. One voice saying that they're still tight, so raising price. But the other side says, it's going to empty. Okay, so I don't know who's right, who's wrong. But even I worry here is not able to help me solve problems. So if they raise price, okay, give me more allocation. The reason is my customers still asking the more supply, so I have no choice. Yeah.
Okay, very clear, sir. Appreciate.
Thank you.
Congrats on the results. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press the raise hand button at the below button. Okay, there are two questions from me. First one is for the foundry supply. Just want to have a longer term sense. Will the supply issue be more resolved in the next year, given more foundry going online, or you still think that the supply will still be tight and there will still be gap for the next year?
Okay, actually we've been informed from both TSMC, UMC, next year is still tight. Next year still under allocation. I hope this is not true. I hope. The reason is you can see Phison we invest so many R&D in the new project design. So when controller is ready, we wish we are able to ramping up the quantity, right? But we invest in the early stage, but eventually not able to get good enough wafer. We are not able to get our ROI. So in my mind, my best wish is foundry going to release. I hope so, but unfortunately, until today, they keep saying 2023 still under big allocation. So I don't know who's right, who's wrong, but Phison actually, we are in a very good position in the storage industry, and both TSMC, UMC agree. Phison, we are very dedicated position, so they are trying to help, but I wish they're able to help and give us more supply.
Okay, thank you. That's very clear. My second question is about it seems that Phison is having more design win recently. Just wonder if it's because those leading NAND maker is increasing their outsourcing ratio, and do you expect this kind of outsourcing trend to continue, or is there any other reason to trigger this more design win? Thank you.
Okay, I believe a NAND manufacturer now their most focus is into the data center enterprise SSD, which able to help them to consume more petabyte and to gain the more profit. So they need their internal controller team to develop solution for enterprise data center, not client SSD. Phison we able to offer very good in cost performance plus R&D NRE fee, which attract them. They outsource project to us. Actually, they gain extra return instead of they use internal team. So they can focus more in the data center. We are trying helping them in the client. So it's a win-win to the both parties. So overall, I believe the outsource is keep happening. And Phison, after we get the outsource project from them, we're able to gain the so-called the unit business, as I show you here. Okay, we gain the unit business. It's good to us. But the where is the chart? Okay, unit. Let me show you this. Okay, we get the unit business here. It's good to our gross margin rate. But on the other hand, when we design the controller for them, means our module is done. Okay, the design of module is done. So on the other hand, we buy back the flash from them when slow season. We're helping them. We build the modules. We gain the extra SP. So this is one of the so-called win-win model between Phison and the NAND manufacturer. So I expect and I can foresee that Phison able to get the more project in the coming futures.
Okay, understood. That's very clear. Our next question came from Brittany Lam. Brittany, please go ahead.
Hi there. Thank you very much for the call and the update. I want to follow up a little bit on the, 1Q and 2Q, because you mentioned earlier that not only would the revenue be higher from the SSD controller, but it's also a higher GP mix, a higher GP product itself. So in that sense, would both the revenue and GP margin be higher, heading into the rest of the year?
Yeah, good question. Okay, revenue-wise, to be honest, when we look to this January, February, right? Phison's all-time high is I think is 17B, in the last year CQ3, but these 2 months we already hit the 10B. So to break the record looks like not so difficult to be honest, but. But CQ1 again is a slow season in this industry, right? The most big growth may happen by CQ2 and CQ3. But CQ2, because they have a gap supply by the end of May and June, so this is how Phison we able to use our strategy, our strength to build inventory, and to gain more supply, more business, and to help the fulfillment to our customers. So CQ1, I believe we are good. CQ2 will be better. CQ3, I believe will be the best.
Wow, that sounds like you'll be breaking record every quarter this year.
I hope so. But I wish no more accident. Okay, no more earthquake, no more war, no more power outage. Yeah.
Understood. Last one is because one of your slides was your strategy to focus on revenue growth instead of just GP margin hitting target, right? In that case, given the backdrop of better product mix and all the disruption causing NAND prices higher, I guess I'm trying to understand what's your strategy then. Would it be, lowering prices to gain scale, or what does it actually mean?
First half this year, I think not any necessary to lower the price, no matter in the controllers or in the modules. Okay, NAND is tight, the foundry is tight. Okay, but when look to this, right, controller is helping me to gain our gross margin rate, GM rate by percentage. We are good, and I believe by dollar amount in controllers, in CQ1, CQ2, definitely we are growing. Because more project ongoing, ramping up, and more wafer supply. And talking about revenue wise, I believe embedded ODM and gaming will helping us a lot in revenue. And second half this year, Phison will start to launch our enterprise products. Okay, we are corporate one of a key partner, and I hope we're able to announce it by end of March. Then by mid of April, Phison will host a so-called technology day to disclose as planned what's our strategy enterprise. If that happened on time, enterprise SSD and the solution is able to helping Phison to gain more in revenue. Okay, and also making Phison in the better position in the NAND industry. So I don't see this is a must to lower the price in the first half of this year. Yeah.
I'm curious, this enterprise SSD, what kind of, GP margin would it be?
Good question. Okay. If talking about the drive itself, to be honest, would be like between 10 to 20%. The reason is 8 terabyte, 16 terabyte, the NAND cost in the full drive is 98, 99%. But this is our first product going to the market. I care is recognition, approval by the customers. Then second step, Phison is going to make the design service, NRE based to the customers. Then they're able to helping growing our gross margin rate because NRE is 100% gross margin. Yeah.
And when would that usually, you expect it to come, the design service?
I believe by CQ4 this year, CQ1 next year, we are able to engage for design service opportunity. But first of all, we need to show we are capable to make the products to the market.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, our next question comes from Simon Wu. Simon, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much again. The number one, the PCIe, maybe 6th generation. When do you expect a meaningful production for client SSD, and then maybe your long-term target for enterprise solutions? Thank you.
Again, to be very honest, I don't. Yes. Okay. Personally, I don't believe PCIe Gen 5 is going to popular in client by 2022 or 23. The reason is power consumption and also the thermal still is a big edge to the system makers. So we believe PCIe Gen 5 first going to popular is in the new high-end data center. And Gen 5 penetration to the client, I believe will happen by 2024-25. Okay?
So 2024, 2025,
yes.
Gen 5.
2024, 2025. Yeah.
How about the 2022 and 2023 you were saying?
Gen will be the Gen 4. Majority will be Gen 4.
Yeah, Gen 4.
Yeah.
However, your enterprise solution exposure is still minimal, right?
Yeah. So that's why we are targeting the Gen 5 into the data center enterprise.
Yeah, for 2024 and 2025.
Yes.
Yeah. And then very quickly, sir, for 2021, how many times have you accepted the foundry, price increase from the factory?
Oh.
3,
4. I believe four times.
That means almost every quarter you
Yes.
pay the high price.
Yes. Yes.
That means maybe for 2022, every quarter you have to negotiate new foundry sources.
2022, we still don't know how their strategy yet, but I believe if foundry increase price, Phison may have a better treatment from them. The reason is Phison also made a lot of contributions to them in the 2021.
Yeah. Your new partner, YMTC, are they active using your controller, or you just get the mandate from YMTC and then you make your own SSD product, putting the YMTC NAND or your own controller? Could you recap? Number one, YMTC NAND chip volume is big, large, and then how you do the business with the YMTC side?
Personally, I believe Phison is their biggest customer in the NAND processing. And I also believe in YMTC controllers, Phison is the biggest supplier.
So then means Phison supplies pure NAND controller chip to YMTC. That's it. It's a one-way transaction.
Yes.
In that case, here the pie chart, 25% of your revenue Q4 is controller.
Yes, only controllers.
This is, however, this 25% mostly for Phison's own product rather than.
No. Phison controller only few percent here.
Oh, I see. So more than 90% of here, 25% is pure controller sales.
Yes.
For the external.
85%, 85 to 90% are pure controller sales.
I see. Like as a silicon motion dots.
Yes.
I see. Yeah, very, very clear there. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, we got one question from the chat room. It's also about the Gen 5, and the investor wants to know about the Gen 5 progress for the redriver and SSD controller and retimer. And also the investor wants to know about that in terms of the Gen 5 redriver, is the company already competing with other peers like us media? Thank you.
I think PCIe Gen 5 redriver, Phison is quite in the leading position in this industry. And what I read from my people, we are competing with the TI. I don't see local Taiwan design house, they have a PCIe Gen 5 redriver yet. But we already start MP these products to the server and the motherboard business. Good business, but the revenue is relatively small, much smaller. But I don't see this is a kind of my cash cow, but I think this is a strategy business. The reason is by second half this year, we are going to penetrate to the data center SSD business. And if data center motherboard using our redriver, this also will improve Phison influence power inside the industry. So I don't see we are competing with any other else because we have no any intention to compete. This is just our business strategy.
Okay, thank you, and that's very clear. And I think that due to time constraint, it's not allowed to take another question, so we have to close the meeting right here. And thanks, Mr. Pan, for his effort, and thank you all for your participation. If you have any further question, please feel free to contact Phison's IR team directly. This concludes the meeting today. Have a nice weekend. Thank you all.
Thank you.